Sometimes in history, it's really important to reach a good understanding of just why people behaved the way they did, what motivated them to act in certain ways. We have to reach a good understanding of that if we're to properly explain why things happened. A good example is why so many Germans voted for Hitler and the Nazi Party in the early 1930s. We know it's the middle of the Great Depression, but there had to be more to it than that. They had other options to vote for. To help illustrate this, I'm going to take you through the life of a young man. In 1913, he is just 17. Now you guys know what it's like to be 17. He should be out partying. He should be having loads of fun, give or take a few exams to worry about. He should be looking forward to university. Well, our young man has been at work for 2 years now. Like all his friends, he left school at the age of 15. But he's doing all right. He lives in the Ruhr and he's got an apprenticeship in a steel mill. And for a 17-year-old, he's earning decent money. But in just a couple of years, our young man is going to be in the middle of a massive war. He's going to see death. He's going to see good friends maimed for life. Not at all fun. But he survives the war. But then comes the Treaty of Versailles, and he wonders what on earth is all this about. Germany has been shamed. Why is Germany being blamed? What was that war all about? But he gets on with his life, and I'm going to jump forward to 1923. And our young man is now 27. He's met his sweetheart and he's saving up to get married. But along comes the French occupation of the Ruhr, and his government asks for passive resistance, and that leads to hyperinflation. Now, worse things have happened to other people, but his savings are blown, and with it, his wedding. He ain't getting married in 1923. And he thinks, hang on, again, my country is being humiliated. What's all this about? But again, he survives, he gets on with his life, and we jump forward now to 1933. And our young man is 37. You'd be pleased to know he got married and he has a couple of kids. But he hasn't worked for 2 years now. And he looks at his wife who's struggling to put food on the table. And he looks at his young kids and they don't understand why life is the way it is. And he thinks back to 1923. And he thinks that, Hitler was one of the very few who stood up and tried to do something for Germany. And he went to prison for it. And Hitler's struggle is Germany's struggle. Hitler told us that, Mein Kampf. And he thinks, there's a man who stood up for Germany 10 years ago. There's a man who fought for Germany 20 years ago, nearly 20 years. This may be the man who's going to get Germany out of this current mess. And that is why he and millions of others voted for Hitler in July 1932, in November 1932, and again in March 1933. And that shouldn't be hard for us to understand. Hitler offered hope. Hitler offered a way out. Nobody else seemed to be doing that. And that's why he got the vote of millions of Germans.